Okay, welcome. Let's step right into the virtual cockpit of the Bombardier Q400 to master a very specific, strictly sequenced navigation procedure. In this explainer, we are going to decode a highly critical alert, understand exactly what it means, and learn exactly how to react. No fluff, no extra guesswork, just the hard facts, so you can memorize the whole thing perfectly. Here is exactly how we're going to tackle this today. First, we'll cover the nav Integ message itself. Then we'll dive into understanding FMS assurance loss, followed by the required action of reverting sensors. After that, we'll look at a really important ground reception note and wrap it all up with an awesome memory trick called IARG. All right, let's jump straight into section 1, the Q400 nav Integ message. So the exact phrasing we're zeroing in on is the appearance of the text nav integrate directly on the primary flight display, or PFD. We aren't talking about a flashing light on the ceiling or some loud auditory alarm going off. It is literally this precise text popping up right in front of the pilots on their main screen. Seeing this specific message in the Q400 acts as our anchor, right? It's the visual trigger that kicks off the exact sequence we're unpacking today. NavInteg is the aircraft explicitly telling you that there is an integrity issue. Something regarding your navigation is just no longer trustworthy. Moving right along to section 2, let's understand what FMS assurance loss actually means. Basically, this alert points to an explicit loss of assurance in the FMS position. The protocol plainly states the integrity of the FMS position cannot be assured to meet minimum requirements for the particular phase of flight. So notice it isn't saying the system just completely died or turned off. It's just telling you, hey, my accuracy can no longer be guaranteed right now. Think of it as a three-step realization for the aircraft's computer. First, the FMS position integrity is constantly being evaluated. Second, that integrity hits a threshold where it just cannot be assured anymore. And third, because of that, it fails to meet the minimum requirements for whatever specific flight phase you are currently in. That is the exact narrow scope of the problem. Okay, section 3, the required action, reverting navigation sensors. Now, the protocol absolutely does not give you a choice here, and it definitely doesn't suggest spending time trying to troubleshoot the system. It uses the very direct, non-negotiable word, revert. You must revert to an alternate means of navigation, using your other available navigation sensors. It's really a 1-2-3 punch, a clean, definitive pivot away from the FMS. You acknowledge that the FMS integrity is lost, you immediately revert to an alternate navigation method, and you execute that by actively utilizing your other available sensors. Simple, fast, and strict. Which brings us to section 4, the ground signal reception note. This is a massive exception we have to talk about. Context is literally everything in aviation. This exact same message can actually appear while the aircraft is physically just sitting on the ground. If you are taxiing or parked and you suddenly see nav Integ, the manual notes it is due to local signal reception characteristics. It is incredibly vital to memorize this specific ground anomaly. It happens purely due to local signal reception characteristics, absolutely nothing else. You aren't experiencing some critical airborne system failure before you even take off. You're just sitting in a spot on the airfield with the signals reaching the aircraft or compromised by the local environment. All right, let's wrap this up with section 5, my personal favorite, the IARG memory trick. Because let's be real, when you're busy in the cockpit of a Q400, you don't exactly have time to casually flip through pages trying to remember the sequence of a warning. You need immediate, total recall. So, how do we memorize this effortlessly? I'm going to give you a custom mnemonic framework to lock this in your brain for good. Say hello to the IARG acronym. It covers the exact sequence flawlessly. I is for the integrity message on the PFD. A is for the assurance lost in the FMS. R is your mandated action to revert. And G is the ground node exception. Just remember that one word, IARG. See how beautifully this maps out? Every single letter connects perfectly back to the protocol. I ties directly to the NavInteg text. A connects to the fact that integrity cannot be assured. R commands you to revert to an alternate means, and G reminds you about the ground exception. Memorize those 4 letters, and you have literally memorized the entire source procedure verbatim. I want to leave you with a thought here. If losing navigational assurance triggers such a definitive, zero-hesitation action to revert, what does that tell us about the absolute precision required for overall aviation safety? Mastering these steps isn't just about passing a test or checking a box. It is the very foundation of operational safety. Take this IARG framework, apply it, and honestly, you'll never forget the Nav Integ protocol again. Thanks for diving into this explainer with us.